on our website that doesn't embody all those elements. And the workforce is very also symmetrical to that overall concept. It's a very diverse workplace. And I think Naomi, Sal, and I forgot to mention a little bit about ourselves, but I don't come from LA. I hail from New York and then the Midwest in Iowa. My dad is Italian and Jewish, and my mom is a Venezuelan immigrant. So that's my story. I came to LA at 23, and I've been here almost 16 years since, just starting from the bottom as a production assistant, taking out trash, and then just slowly building up my credits. And Sal has a pretty cool story himself. He's not from LA either.
Took out trash, Robert.
Yeah, that's how you got to start, right? I mean, getting coffee, driving people, that was my in, but you get to meet a lot of people. That's I think a stage where a lot of people take it for granted, but when you're starting as a production assistant, that's actually where you get to be right next to sometimes executive producers and executives and other really important people that can help you get to where you need to be. So some of my greatest connections I made in LA was when I was picking up those coffee runs and driving people that were way more important than me to the airport and stuff like that. So yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, that's a really great point, Rob. Yeah, and I'm the same way as well. I mean, I grew up in El Paso, Texas, border town. I went to school in Orlando, Florida, for film school in Orlando, Florida, and bounced around a little bit, but ended up coming to Los Angeles about 14 years ago. So I've been here for a little bit. I've been in the industry for a good 22 years now. So a little bit of time, but I also started at the very bottom. I was an intern. I was sweeping floors. I was picking up trash. I was doing the coffee runs and buying groceries for our crew. I was doing all these things, which seem like, some people will roll their eyes like, what are you doing that for? You're going to be a director right away. And that's not how it works. You have to start at the bottom because that's where you're going to learn the most. There is no pressure when you're at the bottom. And all you would really want to do when you're there is watch. It's an opportunity for you to look at different people in different departments and see what it is that you like. You may like directing, you may like to do lighting, you may like to do sound, you may like to do editing, but you really don't know that unless you are exposed, unless you're exposed to that. And the best way to be exposed to that is by starting from the bottom, so that there's no pressure. You're still getting paid, but you have an opportunity to take a moment and be close to these people. Take a moment to say, hey, I really like lighting. Can you tell me where I should start? What should I get into? And they'll point you in the right direction. And 9 times out of 10, everybody in the industry is just absolutely amazing and more than willing to give advice and help somebody who really wants to learn. That goes for any industry, no matter what you do in life. If you show that you want to learn something and you go to somebody who has all that knowledge, they want you to ask them questions. They want to do everything they can to help, because it's an opportunity to just pass on their knowledge to somebody who is deserving and may want to do something more with that later in life. So that's why I also say it never hurts to ask. Just to be, if you've got questions, it doesn't matter who they are, just ask away. Let's see, Brenda also asked, all you content is made in LA, like all of our shows? Are all of our shows made in Los Angeles, or the series? Canvas LA is only done in Los Angeles. This series itself centers around artists who are from this area, and Los Angeles kind of plays a role in every episode. The rest of our content for Fuse, we shoot all across the country. We shot a show in New York earlier this year. We shot a show in Miami in the last few weeks. And so we go to various parts of the country and we shoot different in different places. So just depends on the show and depends on the people that we're following. If we're following a celebrity that lives in Atlanta, then we'll go to Atlanta and tape them for a little bit and then fly back to Los Angeles to edit it and get the show together.
Yeah.
Great questions.
Can you tell us about the educational background?
Yeah,
suggest?
That is actually a really great point. Okay, that's a really great question, because a lot of people think that they have to go to film school in order to learn film. And it doesn't necessarily, that's not true. It doesn't matter kind of what avenue of education you go into. Everything is important when it comes to filmmaking and television. If you have an English background, that's great for writing. If you have, if you have a math background, that's great for photography and for because you're dealing with numbers and you're dealing with lighting, which also is numbers. So it doesn't matter kind of where you come into the industry. It's just a matter of where you are in life. If you're mature enough to take on some responsibility and somebody trusts you to take that responsibility, they're willing to give you a start no matter where you come from. And no matter how old you are, really, as long as you're over 18 but that's kind of where things are. So if anybody tries to tell you you got to go to film school to learn film, that's not necessarily true. It definitely is a help depending on what you want to do. It can be an advantage, but don't think that if you don't go to film school that you can't get in the industry, because that's not true.
Yeah, I 100% agree. In fact, I didn't technically go to film school. I did later on do a screenwriting program when I was in my late 20s at UCLA. But like Sal said, I came from like a history and English background, and that helped me with my writing. Like he also said, for lighting and photography, there's different avenues. But if I had to do it all over again, and I'm from LA, which hopefully a lot of, I assume, people on here are, there's no better place to start, than trying to get on a set or getting some experience, whether it's interning or whatnot. And building some experience and credits, in my opinion, would have been helpful for me. And I would have done that from 18 to 20 and see where I landed, and then maybe have gone to a traditional four-year college, or maybe even a tech or trade school if you wanted to get into something more like specific, like lighting or grip work or something. There's so many avenues. I agree with Sal. You don't need to go to film school. Film school can also be an amazing option for many people. It is great for networking, and that's super important. At the same time, you have to do the cost benefit analysis. With what we know about student debt now, film school is extremely expensive. So hopefully there's some scholarship or financial aid available. But a lot of people don't have the means, myself included, to have had to pay a $30,000, $40,000 a year tuition or get buried in massive debt, because it's not like you're coming out with a medical degree or a law degree. It's going to take you some time to make money in this industry. So all those factors play into the choice that you have to make for yourself. But I think just to reiterate what Sal said, it's not necessary, but it could be a great option for someone. And also, if you do go, you don't have to go right away at 18. You might want to figure out if you want to work for a couple of years or go to a 2-year college like a JC and then see what happens. But there's so many options now. So that's really exciting.
Oh, there we go.
That is it, Naomi. You got it.
Yes, you got it.
Yes.
That's it. Woo!
All right.
Music, fashion, graphic design, curation.